Welcome to Bean and Bracket Factory, and welcome to the latest episode in the rebuild of my Wragg Austin 7 Special. I called it the winter rebuild. I've actually re-engineered quite a lot of parts and components on it. The last episode was about re-engineering the brakes, and this one is about connecting them all up, giving you a guided tour of all of the aspects of it, bleeding them, sort of a test of them. So anyway, sit down, relax, and let's get started. So I'm now back on the case and I'm focusing on the last major job, and that is the brakes. So starting off with actually fitting these hard lines. So I think in a previous video I'd actually used a flexible hose here, and somebody said, why have you used flexible hose? You should be using a hard solid line. And yeah, I agree. So I fitted a hard line to this. Doesn't need to be flexible. Flexible is just a bit lazy really, so I made a solid line. So it's a single circuit, so this line goes down to this bulkhead fitting here, and then this goes, it's just a bracket to support it, this goes down underneath the car. So underneath here is a union just there, and that takes it fore and aft. So forwards it goes to another union underneath there, and then you've got flexible hoses go out to the back brakes. Front brakes, what am I talking about? So these are it's a custom made back plate with Morris Minor wheel cylinders. So these are sort of 1950s 1960s technology, which is better than 1930s technology, which is just would be cables. So this these are available new. So it's a twin shoe front setup. One thing to remember about this is all UNF, whereas this is all BSF. Anyway, so I've fitted both front plates, one there, one over there, and you can see you have, I'll walk around and show you. You have this a link pipe, so obviously the hydraulic supply goes to one of the cylinders, then comes off, goes to the one, and then you bleed from the top there. So that's those front ones fitted. The next step is to actually fit the shoes and drums, so I think I'll do that next, and when I've done that I'll swing the guns round to the back end and show you the back. Right, now on the other side of the car, and I've fitted the hub and I've fitted the shoes. So obviously these are Morris Minor shoes. Hub's got a castellated nut in there, and I've got this, where is it? Got this nice fancy cover which I'm going to put on there. That's very nice, has a little split pin through it. Something to bear in mind if you're ever going to do one of these conversions is that you can never just bolt this stuff together. Everything takes filing and fettling. You've got to make sure that everything fits, nothing fouls, nothing clashes, but that's fine now. Obviously putting these on means I can bleed the brakes, not breed the brakes, bleed the brakes, but this is only the start of it really. To actually have decent brakes, I'm going to need to bed these pads in. Because I think what I'll find out is that when I first put the brakes on, it'll only touch in one or two little places. I need the whole pad to touch, so that's going to happen once I've actually bled the brakes and adjusted these sort of snail cams just here. You can adjust these, and it opens up this slightly when there's no pressure in the system. So that's a kind of a later down the line brake improvement phase, but right now I'm going to get the drums on, get it back on its wheels, and go and have a look at the back. So the brake drum is now on, and one thing I haven't mentioned before is these aluminium fins. So this is a standard Girling cast iron, this is the later style brake drum, and these fins are a basically machined up ring with grooves in, and the whole thing has been heated up and shrunk onto this cast iron drum. So that's that. Right, let's stick the wheels on. So front wheels are on and the attention now is drawn to the rear brakes. So again, the rears are Morris Minor, but it's only a single wheel cylinder on in this case. So that is a sliding wheel cylinder. Right, it slides up and down, and it's a kind of fixed pivot on this side. And it's the wheel cylinder has got the built-in handbrake mechanism, which hasn't been connected yet. And at the back I've got 2-into-1 union there on a flexible, which goes into you can see underneath there, a bulkhead fitting. On the other side I've actually fitted a pressure sender because I'm going to fit some brake lights. So that's that. So actually now I'm in the process of bleeding the brakes. So you can see a big rag there to stop paint stripper getting everywhere, and I've just taken this side off because I was getting loads of movement of the shoe. So I've adjusted this snail adjuster, taken all the slack out, and I will stick it back on and try it. So the brakes have now been bled, and actually incidentally I used one of these things, which is a little vacuum bleeding system, which is quite a nifty little thing. It means you can actually bleed the thing on your own. You connect that onto the bleed nipple on the wheel cylinder and pump that and draw a vacuum, and then you can just back off, open the nipple and bleed the brakes, which is quite handy because it means you don't have to have two people. So anyway, I've done that, and now I've got, this is my pedal movement here. I've got a nice fairly solid feel, and I've got loads of throw before my pedal gets anywhere near the gearbox. I've got probably another 2 inches of throw left there, so obviously not tried it yet, but it feels quite good. Also I've put the seat in and I've sat in it and I've pressed the pedal as hard as I possibly can, because obviously I want to test all of these joints, and the only one that wept even was this one, so I nipped it up and now it's bomb proof. So it's actually ready to take for a little drive. Well, it's not ready, the brakes are ready, but there's a few other bits and bobs I need to sort out. I've got to sort out various, nothing big, lots of small jobs, sort out the loom. Somebody commented on the video that this petrol pipe was running really close to that, and it was going forwards and was within about centimetre. So I've actually sort of bent that round and relocated it, so I'm much happier about that now. A few other bits and bobs I need to do before I take it for a drive, test drive, but you'll have to wait until next time. So that's all for now, I think. So time to wind up. So I changed my mind. I'm not winding up, I'm going to carry on because I'm on the subject of brakes. So I thought I would carry on by trying to work out how to mount these brake lights. Now these are off an Austin, they're made out of glass, quite nice, sort of period sort of looking things. Austin, Cambridge, I think. Anyway, and this is actually a lump of front axle, but the rear axle is same diameter, and I want to mount this thing sort of underneath the axle. So I've been thinking about what a bracket might look like. Now if you want to grip something around, then you might want to consider using something like this, but obviously this is too big, and I'd get banished from the Society of Austin 7 Specials if I use something like that, so I can't bring myself to use anything like that. I did think of some kind of P-clip arrangement, but again, this is not sprung. This is going to be, you know, shaking around with all the road vibrations because it's a live axle, so it needs to be solid. So what I've done a bit of cardboard aided engineering, CAD, and I made this thing out of Sainsbury's cornflake packet, and this is going to have a strap that goes around the back, and it's going to clamp onto there like that, and that will go in there like that, comme ça, something like that anyway. So using this cardboard, I then transferred that to a sheet of steel. So that's what that looks like. Marked it all out, and then obviously I need 2 of these, so I've got that and I've got these 2 pieces here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to weld these on. I'm going to TIG weld these on, and we're going to offer it up and see if it's going to work. Let's do that next. So it's all welded up now. It's about time I made a bracket, isn't it really, considering this has been in Bracket Factory. So anyway, it fits on like that. You can see it meets the curve of the axle, and this will drop into there like that. And I'm going to have a metal strap will go around the back. So on the strength of that, I'm quite happy with that. I'll paint it all black so it's all kind of blends in and disappears. On the strength of that, I now cut out this one and make the other one. So another one made, and you see it's now got 2 holes in it. Now these 2 holes are for these 2 angle brackets. One goes in there and one goes in the bottom like that. Holes will be drilled, and then this is a cardboard version, but a strap goes round the back like that. This is a strip of mild steel, 1mm, so that will be bent in some rollers. And the bottom one, I'll make it such that the bottom one pulls tight and clamps it. And in true Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. So that's what it's going to look like. This bottom clamp pulls in nice and tight. I've tried it on the car, it works fine. So just need to finish making that one, and then give them a lick of paint. Take off the sharp edges, give them a lick of paint, and I'm ready to stick them on the car and wire them up. So make another one and paint them. So I've made another one and I've painted them, and they've come up quite nice actually. My favourite satin paint, Simonized black satin paint. Look alright, not too bad. Anyway, let's stick them on the car and wire them up to the brake pressure switch and see if we can get some working brake lights. So the brake lights have now been mounted on the back of the car, and I've done a bit of jerry rigging and wired them up. Still need to tidy the loom up, but now I can actually give it a test. So here we go. Press the brake. 1, 2, 3. Brake, and yes, I can see that it all works quite nicely. Mission accomplished. So that really is it for this week's episode, or this time's episode. That's the brakes all sorted out now, hopefully. Yet to drive it. So of course that leads us to the next episode, which is going to be about driving it. Got a few bits and bobs to do, a few minor details to sort out. But the plan is to take it out and see if it works, see if the brakes work, see if the steering works, see if the suspension works, seeing if any of it works. So if you want to see that, hit subscribe, hit like or leave a comment if you want to, and until next time, thanks for watching.